Hi everybody, welcome to my channel for the usual tournament introduction video where I'm going to present you some elements of ETC 2022, mainly what was Team Switzerland, what was our preparation more or less, and a couple of information about my list if you still don't know it yet, which you shouldn't if you follow the channel in the last couple of months. What was our team this year? So we had, from left to right, we had Thomas playing Vermin Swarm, Alan playing Demon Legion, Coco playing Orc and Goblin, myself playing my usual Ogre Khan, Paul playing his Dwarf army, Dim playing Infernal Dwarfs, our coach Raphael. Then we had Xavier the captain playing War of the Dark God, and Andy playing Sylvan Elf. What was my list? Sorry, this is not the last version, but you saw it again and again and again. I had a Master Thaumaturgy, a Great Khan with the Kagadai, a Shooty BSB with MR2 and BSB 18, 11 Tribesmen full command with the banner of Swift Stride. Then I had 3 Dart with Musician, and not this standard, but 3-time Musician, 3 Tribesmen, 3 Bruisers, 3 Bruisers, 6 Merc Vets, Shooty Merc Vets with MR1, 4 Tasca Cavalry full option Great Weapon with banner of Ginget. We have then a Saber-tooth Tiger, Frost Mammoth, and a Slave Giant. So what was our preparation? Basically, the Team Switzerland was selected around February this year, I guess. After that, we played at WTC together. So most of the Team Switzerland, I think we had one guy or two guys, yeah, I think 4 out of 6 were part of Team ETC Switzerland this year, and 2 of them were part of the group, but not in the team this year, basically. But we had there the opportunity to face ETC players from teams Denmark, Poland, Germany, faced Netherlands as well. So all these type of games which were very good preparation for ETC. So that was our first tournament. That was very enjoyable as an experience, playing experience, but also because of the tournament itself. Then we had 2 ETC Switzerland bootcamps before the list submission to try to finalize our list, try some matchups and so on. Were basically 2 full weekends where we played games. I attended to one of these, so not all members attended to both. It was also depending who needed more tests to still figure out what he was going to play. It was part of the team who knew already what they were going to play, like me, which I had like 1 year experience more or less on this list. Was pretty happy how it worked, and we were pretty convinced that it should do well at ETC. And the rest of the team, which we were still deciding between some armies, for example, Alan deciding between Vampire Covenant or Demon Legion. So these bootcamps were very useful to do that, to finalize our meta. Then we had a practice round against Germany, which was also interesting. You saw already the battle report on my channel. Myself, other than that, I test some matchup that I felt unsecure or that I wanted to validate my estimation and so on. So I picked some matchup that I found interesting to try out before ETC, and I contacted some of my friends from different countries to try to play these games, which were interesting tests before ETC. Then I did some map analysis since we had the deployment known, and together with the secondary objective, I felt we could still do a decent amount of prep. By, for example, what I did is on King of the Hill and Circle, go through the 8 map and see, just thinking basically about my list and thinking if I won the roll for side, which side I would pick and which piece of terrain I would most likely pick. This would just give me a first sense, first feeling of, with a cold head, what did I pick. And then sure, you need to adapt and so on the situation. But still, I found that very useful and gave me a lot of security before approaching this round. Just looking again at my sheet, what did I prepare? Okay, this map, I should pick that. That could be a good choice and so on. So I felt on, for example, Counter Trust, Secure Target, and so on, all these type of games where you already have analyzed a bit the map and thought about the multiple option, you can probably get a small advantage or some certainties or reduce the likelihood that you fuck up by this stage of the game, which is pretty important. Then obviously matchup ratings, so the estimations. How do you rate the matchup against all etc armies? Something that I enjoy doing a lot. I do it for all the team tournament that I do, where we have the list in advance, because I think it helps a lot to know that for sure, no matter against who I'm going to play at etc, I have seen and thought about their list before. And that helps a lot for me to reduce the uncertainty or the risk of not seeing something in the list. Basically, I will go through all the list, and if I don't know something about one list, I open the book. And basically doing that year after year, tournament after tournament, basically you start to know more and more about armies and stuff. And I think it's a good way to, on one hand, increase your knowledge about others' army rules and books, and on the other hand, improve also your macro analysis because if you do a matchup rating not based on secondary objective but only based on list, you start to think about, okay, this lord is a problem in this matchup, how do I approach it, and so on. This unit might be risky, what could I do against it? You start to make some thinking. It's not just about putting a 10 against this army, it's thinking how could the matchup go, and all this thinking before the event has helped me in the past and helped me again this year. So that was it, more or less. So I think it's fair to say that among the team that have the ambition to be on etc podium, we are probably one of the less trained nation, I guess, and this has already been the case in the past year. This year we have done a bit more, so I think we are going a step in the right direction, but we are definitely not the best prepared nation, and we know that this is a limit that we have, that we are not the hardest hardcore gamers among these nations, but still I felt the preparation was better, especially with these 2 boot camps plus the practice round and so on. I felt this was quite interesting, and I also liked my personal preparation where I really picked the matchup that I wanted to try out to make sure that, okay, this is still a shady zone, something I don't know well, I want to clear that up before etc. And I think that was definitely the right approach to make sure that the time that I invest training is well invested. It's not just some random games. So instead of more tournament like I did it over the past year, I did more picked game where I say I want to try out against this list on this second objective, and doing that I felt was quite important and useful this year. So that's all, guys, for this small introduction. Coming up next, the battle report of round 1 of etc 2022 against Wales. So stay tuned, this will be coming soon on channel. Bye.